Persona 5 Strikers is finally out here in the West, and if you're a huge Persona 5 fan like me, then you're excited to see the Phantom Thieves back in action. But even though it looks and sounds like Persona 5, it does play a bit different with the gameplay switching to a Musou style of combat. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit tough for me at first, and I made my fair share of mistakes. So here are 5 things that I believe beginners should know to help make the transition a bit easier. Hope it helps. So the main thing that I believe a majority of new players will struggle with is a shortage of SP. SP is needed to cast persona skills, which are important for exploiting enemy weaknesses and healing your teammates. Early in the game, you might find yourself low on SP often, so if you were like me, you probably headed over to your bonds menu to purchase a skill that'll help with that. You looked around and you stumble upon this skill for a whopping 15 bond points called Oracle Recovery. It looks like an awesome skill, and if you played Persona 5, it probably reminds you of the SP adhesive that helped you complete palaces in one day. But my first tip is do not buy the Oracle Recovery skill, at least for early game. Trust me, I bought it myself and I was disappointed to find out that it healed only 2 SP per battle. And apparently at max rank, it heals only 6 SP per battle. You're better off using those 15 bond points to increase your bond XP gain with this bond maker skill, so you can get bond points easier in the future. This ambusher skill if you really want something to replenish HP and SP every battle, or these skills if you want to attack the problem at its source and increase your base HP and SP. But eventually the problems will sort itself out the more you level up and get used to the combat in general. Continuing with the theme of HP and SP management, my second tip is to stock up on HP and SP recovery items. Unlike in Persona 5, the stores have a very limited quantity of items. Most of the time, you can only buy 2 or 3 of the same item per day. There's a way around this though. If you go into the jail, fight a couple groups of enemies, and exit, the stocks of items should be replenished. So if you're running low on supplies, I'd buy up their stocks, fight some enemies, return to the real world, and stock up some more. This is especially important in the early game because for long boss fights, you have to make sure that you keep your HP and SP up, because if your characters die, you probably won't have access to revival items yet, or the Recarm persona ability that revives teammates, so you might just game over. You can buy HP items pretty much anywhere. They are in stores, vending machines, and Sophia's online shop. As for SP items, the only place you can get them before finishing the first jail is at the vending machine outside the bathhouse in Yongen-gaya. Now, I mentioned in the last tip that you can hop back and forth between the jail and the real world to replenish stocks of items. And some of you OG Persona 5 fans might be wondering, wait, won't you be wasting days worth of time doing that so much? Well, the good thing about Persona 5 Strikers is that it's not that strict on time management. Leaving the jail won't progress time in the real world, so you can do it as many times as you want. So it sounds kind of funny, but my third tip is to take advantage of jail time. This kind of ties in with the previous tips because every time you leave the jail, your HP and SP are recovered. So you should definitely take advantage of checkpoints to give your characters a break whenever they get tired. The game also does a good job letting you know when you're about to go up against a boss or a strong enemy, so you should be going into them with all your bars full. This also makes it easy for you to grind if you're feeling under-leveled and to just learn the characters and their combos. Speaking of combos, it's no mystery that you should be using your persona abilities to exploit the enemy's weaknesses. Doing so can lead to all-out attacks, follow-up attacks, one-mores, just a lot of different opportunities. But what if it's a really long boss fight and you ran out of SP and SP recovery items? At that point, the best thing that you can do is to use your combos to exploit the enemy's weaknesses, since these don't require SP. For most characters, pressing the normal attack button 3 times and ending it with a special attack will perform a persona ability of the persona's element. So if you're using Arsene for example, it'll do an attack with the dark element. And if the boss is weak against that element, that's a way for you to keep doing a good amount of damage that might open up opportunities every once in a while. Another cool thing that Joker can do is charge his pistol shots, and that's a great way to break the shields that bosses have without using any SP. Just keep in mind that you have a limited amount of ammo, but if you followed tip 3 and rested before entering the boss fight, you should be going in with full ammo. And another cool thing Joker can do is that if he has the persona Pixie equipped, then you can press the normal attack button 2 times, followed by the special attack button 2 times, and you can heal Joker for free without any SP. It's a little bit of HP each time, but you can spam it and eventually get back to full health. And for my last tip, it's just to try and switch your characters every now and then. I'm guilty myself of not doing this one. I've rocked with the same party since the beginning of the game, and now there's a bit of a difference in level between my party and the rest of the characters. Unlike Persona 5, the characters that you don't use don't get that much XP from you winning battles. Now, the characters I don't use are under-leveled, and then that just turns me off from using them even more, and it can get so out of hand where you might even complete the game without really touching a certain character. It especially sucks when you know that a boss is weak against that character's persona, but you can't use them because they'll probably get one-shot if they step into battle. So just play all the characters, have fun with them. This is one of the only Persona 5 games where you can actually control them freely, so soak it all in. But yeah, those are my tips. I hope you found something useful. If you did, make sure to drop a like. My name is Agent, and I play games from a variety of different genres like this one, and I just try to have fun with all of them. So consider subscribing to join the agency if that sounds like something you're into. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Stay awesome and have fun stealing those hearts.